Hello, good morning, welcome to a very cold Halifax, West Yorkshire at My Suzuki. Today's video we're going to compare and contrast two Jimnys from Japan, both very similar, both black, both pearlescent black, and one is a 2013 and one's a 2009, and what we're going to look at here is something that we get asked for quite a lot, which is the differences between the facelift and the pre-facelift. Now there have been a number of facelifts in between when they were originally the Mark III in 1998 and 2018, which was 20 years. The most substantial facelift though was around about 2012, where they're easier to recognize because the bonnet changed, but we're going to look at some more differences between them. And the reason that we're doing it today is we've got somebody who's coming up from the south coast. They drove up to Birmingham, then they're coming up on the train this afternoon, and they want to look at these two Jimnys that we have, which are very similar. One's a little bit more expensive than the other, but it's also a facelift model, so we've got them both out ready for the prospective purchaser to look at them, and I thought we'd make this video for you to have a look. And so it's because they're both so similar, we thought this video could be a good idea and pertinent right now. So, two Jimnys, both Jimny Sierra from Japan, both got the same 1.3 engine in, powered with a cam chain rather than a cam belt, which is always a relief to buyers to find out that it's a chain, not a belt, so you don't have to worry about that. Your main difference here is pretty much it's evident in as much as the bonnet's changed. The bonnet's changed and the styling of the front end, it made a really big difference. They're both special editions. The far one is the newer one, which is a crossover venture. The one closest to us is a Wild Wind. That's a 2009. The other one is a 2013. I think what they were doing, they were moving steadily towards where they thought they wanted to go with the Generation 4 Jimny, in as much as slight changes, updating it, ready for the big unveil. So the first thing you're going to notice, well, the first thing I want to show you is, it looks like it's drops of rain on the bonnets, but it's not, it's actually ice. It's that cold. It really is cold today. First thing to have a look at is headlights are the same, bonnets and grills are different. Here's a pre-facelift one, and you will see that the bonnet wraps around down to the bumper, and it is the same bonnet that they've had since about 1998. The facelift one, it's a clamshell bonnet. Clamshell bonnet, so it only goes down to the grill. The grill is a chrome grill because it's special edition, and it also has a bulge in it, which is reminiscent of, to me, it looks like the old Pajeros, which have a bulge in for the turbo. It's in Japan they do have a turbo, but not on this model. This model is purely aesthetic, and I like it, and I think it's a really good styling move. But then again, it's personal opinion. Like I say, the grille on this facelift model is a separate affair. It pops out quite easily, but on the pre-facelift one, the grille is part of the bonnet and it wraps around to the bumper, where if you look at this bumper, it's a different design. The fog lights are in a different place. There's only one grille, whereas on the pre-facelift one there are 5 grills and the fog lights are lowered, slightly lower down. Not a big change. not something that people would really notice if they weren't paying attention or they didn't know, but it is a change. Wheels came in at a difference before the facelift around about 2010 in Japan anyway, to these 10 spokes or 5 double spokes, and they are a noticeable thing. When there is another facelift that is probably around 2016 where the wheels changed again to really nice wheels, but these are nice wheels. And these are the older ones from the pre-facelift. These ones replaced the 3-spoke older ones, and these lasted for quite a while. Nice wheels. Again, it's personal preference. So up to the roof. The roof line is and can be a deal breaker for some people, because this is a facelift one, and again they lost the roof rails in about 2010 in favour of a flatter roof, which is very similar to the Generation 4 Jimny. Now it does have rubbers there, but from memory I think somebody asked us a little while ago if they could fit a roof rack, and it doesn't have the fittings to be able to retrofit rails or in as much as rails from the earlier model, which is this one, which does have the roof rails. It has the roof rails, and this, as I say, could be a deal breaker if you want to carry a top box, if you want to carry anything on there, whether you put a bike carrier, canoe, anything for your outward bound adventures, that will make the Jimny carry more things than it does on the roof. Moving on to the interior, a couple of things of note, and although this car doesn't have them fitted, it does have the fixtures and fittings to accommodate retrofitting the load levelers, and in as much as 2 hooks there and a bar at the top to stow them out of the way, so this car can have them done. On the facelift model it doesn't have them. Also, if you look at the headrests, or more accurately head restraints, because they are a safety feature, they are quite small in a Jimny, quite low down, don't really extend very high. In contrast to the facelift Jimny, where they are extremely long, extremely tall, extend upwards, and will accommodate any height of driver, passenger, and even in the rear you can see the head restraints. Quite an improvement. And coming back to the back of the rear seats, they have lost the ability to have a load leveler, but they've included load restraint fixings, so you can tie things down, you can put a bag onto it, you can put hooks onto it, different things. Looking closer at the bonnet, what you will notice is, or you may not notice, the windscreen washer jets are now up on the bulkhead. They are not in the bonnet, and I think that's a lot better idea. It's a bigger improvement. And if you compare that with the pre-facelift model, this has the windscreen washer jets embedded in the bonnet, and the reason I think that this is a great improvement to take them off the bonnet is because when you're trying to clean and polish the bonnet, and the bonnet is, to me, it's the most important part of the car to have clean, polished and looking good. It's just difficult to get around them. You always get polished into them, and also if you're using a machine polisher, the vibrations always make them squirt water out, which is, it's not ideal. It just hampers you with doing it. Okay, so we pop the bonnet on both cars just to show you a few differences which are within the engine bay, but realistically nothing to do with the engine or the mechanicals of the car itself. However, I have seen a number of posts here and there of people who've asked, can they put this bonnet onto their car? And realistically, the answer is, I would say, with difficulty, with great difficulty. And the reason being, because of the difference in the car, you've got like, this is welded on, this is like a turret, which is a stop for the car. You've got raised areas here, which are actually part of the wing, front and back. And if you don't see the cars together, you may be thinking to yourself, well, it won't be too difficult. What you would more than likely have to do if you're going to put this, bonnet onto the car, I would imagine the easiest way to do it would be to source some wings, source a bumper, source a grille, so everything fits together. The front panel, as far as I can see, there's no different in it. So your bonnet locking mechanism, I don't think it's going to change. The headlights are identical. You can take the fittings for the headlights and everything are going to be the same. But if you did want to put this bonnet on to make your older Jimny look like a newer Jimny, then it's not going to be a straightforward swap and to just put a grille on. And here's the inside of the pre-facelift one. You can see there, the inner wing, nothing along there to accommodate the bonnet. Slightly different curve there between this one and the facelift model, which again is going to mean that pretty much you can't put the newer bonnet on to an older one if you're keeping the wings. You don't have the raised bonnet stops there for the new bonnet. It does have 3 holes there, which as far as I can tell they accommodate the grille, but it doesn't have receivers down here in the bottom. These aren't missing. We've taken these out because the bumper is loosely fitted on, because we've taken the inner wheel arches out to give it a really good wash. We haven't got around to it yet because we're working on one in the garage. But that is the pre-facelift, and very, very similar. There are just such tiny differences in as much as the airflow sensor into the airbox there, slightly different in a slightly different place. And there you have it. Great thing that we could put 2 bluish black pearlescent cars together, separated by about 5 years and some design changes. It may be that you prefer one over the other. It may be that it's down to budget. It may be that maybe you have to have roof rails. Anyway, hopefully we've answered some questions of the differences between these two, because they are such similar cars, both as capable as each other, both as reliable as each other, and both of them not suffering from the only thing that brings Jimnys down, which is rust, rot and corrosion, because they've lived their lives and they have never seen salt in their life. Even though we're getting to the colder end of the year and salt's going to be out, they will have a full underbody treatment front and back that the owner opts for, which generally 99% of the customers do. I think the only one car that hasn't gone out in the last 12 months without the underbody treatment was because the partner of the girl who bought it used to work in a place that did undersealing, and he said, I'm quite capable of doing it myself, so that was due to be done anyway. Lovely to see 2 pearlescent black Mk3 Jimnys, and things didn't really change until this came along. This came along, turned everything on its head. I absolutely love the design of this car, but this is another story for another day.